With foldables becoming more and more common nowadays, with brands like Samsung, Huawei, and Oppo getting their foot first in the door, other companies also want to take a bite out of the pie. So today, we'll be checking out Honor's second crack at a foldable device with the Honor Magic 5S. Does it have what it takes to be a prominent player in the foldable segment? Let's find out. OBB. Boom boom chicka. The Honor Magic 5S is one sleek foldable device, but when folded, it measures at 12.9 millimeters thick. And that's right, that's about the thickness you'd expect from two phones on top of one another. However, once you unfold it, you get a very thin and expansive device that measures only 6.1 millimeters thin and a large screen that's roughly 8 inches diagonally. The review unit we have is the international variant in this cyan colorway. Under the hood, it runs Magic OS 7.1 based on Android 13, while also packing in 12 gigs of RAM and 512 gigs of internal storage. Moving towards the exterior, its back panel has this folded texture that feels both smooth and waxy, making it less prone to fingerprints and smudges. It also has a solid all-metal frame with the hinge mechanism supporting the folding display. At the bottom, we have the SIM card tray, with it being able to support 2 nano SIM cards with no option for micro SD card expansion. We also have the primary speaker grill, primary mic, and its USB Type-C charging port. On the right side, we have the power button, while on the left side, we have the volume rocker. Do note that when folded, both of them will obviously be on the right. Up top, we got a secondary stereo speaker, a noise-canceling microphone, and the IR blaster that allows you to use the native remote app to configure and control your home appliances. In terms of its display, the Honor Magic 5S currently holds the title of biggest foldable display with a 7.9-inch screen when unfolded. Just for comparison, the two other most popular foldables, the Huawei Mate X3 measures at 7.85 inches and the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 4 measures at just 7.6 inches. It continues this largeness with a 6.45-inch cover display, while the Mate X3 and Z Fold 4 only have a 6.4 and 6.2-inch cover display, respectively. But more of its cover displays, it's actually a 6.45-inch OLED panel with a resolution of 2560 by 1080, and it also features a 120Hz refresh rate. It's also pretty tall with a 21:9 aspect ratio, making it usable for general tasks like messaging, social media browsing, taking pictures, and even watching shows. All that combined makes it a pretty stunning cover display that runs the whole length of the phone while also being sharp and bright. It also has a slightly curved edge with the right side tapering out a bit, allowing for a firmer grip when holding. What's also neat is that, when folded, there's almost absolutely no gap. I mean, clearly, there is none. It's also lined with a slim rubber stopper that allows the insides to give the inner display a little bit more protection. When unfolded, we see the larger inner screen where we mostly do any video watching or game playing. Although, it could take some time getting used to it since it's a bit squared off with a 10.3:9 aspect ratio. And sure, as nice as it is to watch videos on tablet mode, you're going to have to learn to live with some thick black borders at the top and bottom of the screen. We do recommend using it unfolded for gaming. With the added real estate, playing games feel even more immersive. But one major concern with foldables is the crease down the middle, and like any other foldable phone in the market, the Magic 5S does have one that we'd say is pretty noticeable. But that comes with most of them in today's world, and so it's hard to knock them for it. We also see the fingerprint sensor embedded on the power button on the right side near the middle of the frame, and for most right-handed users, this makes it easier to reach and unlock with one hand. It can also store up to 5 different fingerprints, and you can also use facial recognition if that's your cup of tea. For media consumption, the stereo speakers themselves are also great with one on each side, making audio playback more immersive and full when watching movies or playing games. We also find the audio quality to be both balanced and clear. However, the bass and actual loudness could use some improvement, especially when there's a lot of ambient noise around you. For software, we get Magic OS, a custom UI with an intuitive and user-friendly design. It has features such as gesture navigation, split-screen multitasking, and customizable app icons. But for those who aren't so familiar with Magic OS or any Honor smartphone, it does come with a few native features that we think you might like. The first one being Magic Live Wallpaper. This uses advanced algorithms to create a dynamic and interactive background that responds to both user input and changes in lighting. Then there's also Honor's Yo-Yo virtual assistant that's integrated into Magic OS to provide voice-based search, weather forecasts, and the ability to control other smart appliances with a simple command. Then they also have Magic Sound that also uses the AI algorithm to enhance audio quality when on call or when listening to music. It can also simulate 3D surround sound for a better listening experience. The device also features Honor Connect to help share content, notifications, calls, and messages from one device to another. It kind of works similarly to Samsung's Connect to Windows or Huawei Share. It also has multi-window support with a split-screen feature to maximize the large display. Although, we did notice in our actual use case, YouTube did tend to freeze or crash when switching between folded and unfolded mode. Hopefully, this gets fixed in a future update. For hardware, under the hood of the Magic 5S is Qualcomm's Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1 processor. The chip itself is built on a 5nm process and composed of a tri-cluster CPU design with a prime core that can run up to 3.2 GHz. It also has 3 performance cores running at 2.4 GHz and 4 efficiency cores at 1.8 GHz. To complement its CPU is an Adreno 730 GPU, a Spectra 680 ISP for advanced camera processing, and a Snapdragon X65 modem for its fast 5G connections. When it comes to synthetic benchmarks, it boasts scores we'd come to expect of a flagship chipset with a notable 1,300 single-core and 3,774 multi-core scores on Geekbench 6. It also boasts UFS 3.1 internal storage for snappy use with read and write speeds of up to 1,668 megabits per second and 1,156 megabits per second on AnTuTu. Needless to say, it performed really well, which goes hand in hand with its large display, allowing you to run multiple apps in the background and multitask without it slowing down. Gaming is also what you come to expect of a phone and processor at this caliber. It's way more than powerful enough for any mobile game you throw at it. For cameras, at the rear we see a triple camera setup with a 54-megapixel primary lens, a 50-megapixel ultrawide, and an 8-megapixel telephoto with optical image stabilization and 3x optical zoom. This telephoto lens can zoom up to 3x optical, 10x hybrid zoom, and even up to 30x digital. Videos, on the other hand, can shoot in either 21:9 or 16:9 aspect ratios up to 4K at 60 frames per second, while slow motion capture can be taken at 1080p of up to 240 frames per second. We also get other neat features like Pro Mode, Dual Video Recording Mode, which utilizes both the main and selfie cameras. Speaking of selfie cameras, it actually has 2 of them, both being a 16-megapixel lens with one on the cover screen and another on the inner display when unfolded. Both produce similar results with selfie video recordings maxing out at 1080p at 60 frames per second. For connectivity, it has them all, with an IR blaster, Wi-Fi 6, Bluetooth 5.2, GPS, and NFC. And as we mentioned earlier, the Honor ecosystem does allow for easy and seamless connection with other Honor devices such as their tablets and laptops. When it comes to battery life though, it may vary depending on your use case, since using it open and unfolded will definitely drain more juice compared to when using it primarily closed. Our tests with PCMark's Worth 3.0 battery test saw that it got 9 hours and 47 minutes when unfolded. However, once folded, that score shot up to 13 hours and 6 minutes. That's roughly a 30% increase, and so we reckon that with mixed use, you can get up to about 11 or 12 hours of use each day before needing to charge, which isn't too bad considering that it's a foldable with 2 large displays. But we weren't too surprised since its battery is pretty large at 5,000 mAh. And on top of all that, it supports 66 watt fast charging that can charge from 0 to 100 in just 50 minutes. The only thing we'd say is that it has no wireless charging nor reverse wireless charging here, which isn't really essential, but it would have been nice to have. Now, to wrap it all up, we've come a long way from the first generation of foldable smartphones and even old flip phones. Today, we get to enjoy a wide selection of foldables from Samsung and Huawei, with more companies like Google and Apple rumored to launch their own foldables in the near future. Currently, the Honor Magic 5S, we'd say, checks all the boxes for a flagship foldable smartphone in 2023. It has a huge display, powerful processor, great cameras, and long-lasting battery life. This sounds like a recipe for not just a solid foldable, but also a solid daily driver. The OS has also matured a ton with more customizations and a simple-to-use design, while also further improving stability. Although it may seem a bit bulky compared to other foldables like the Galaxy Z Fold 4, we're very impressed with the engineering of the Honor Magic 5S. Not to mention that it's only their second attempt at a foldable. And aside from minor nitpicks here and there, we couldn't find anything to fault it for. Although, there is one problem. It's not available in the Philippines. Not yet, at least. Honor has still not confirmed any details of a launch here in the Philippines, with them also currently in talks to partner with telcos and their postpaid plans. So that pretty much wraps it up for the review of the Honor Magic 5S. Let us know what you guys think of this guy in the comment section below. Would you get this foldable? Or do you want the ones from Samsung or Oppo and or Huawei? Let us know in the comment section below. But if you found this video helpful, enjoyable, or informative, be sure to smash that like button. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit that bell icon so you get notified of our future uploads. Be sure to visit yugatech.com for the latest tech news and reviews. Again, this has been Miguel, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.